What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Coliseum, and more importantly, welcome to another episode of the Arena, joined, as always, Lightleap. What's going on, buddy? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm still muted.
It's okay.
Going on, everyone? How has been the second week of the season for you?
Let's do a little chit chat while we got people filing in before we start breaking down these topics. We got a few things to talk about today. We want to talk about the seasonal activity. We got a little bit of a change this week. We have Iron Banner going on, and it's got its ups and downs. And then more importantly, while you're here today, along with the TWAB, we're going to be discussing the raid. There's a few big things, cornerstones, I personally want to touch on in the raid. I'm sure Lightleap has his point of view on it, but in the meantime, just what have you been up to in the game? I know you're kind of like working in, you're dipping your toes back into your comfort zone. Did you play trials at all? Did you get your hands on that new Sheora's Wrath SMG?
Do you want the honest opinion?
Absolutely.
Or do you want to make me qualified to talk about it?
I want your honest. This is what we do here. Give you an honest opinion.
I've played like half an hour this week since we talked last. I don't know. I did not play trials at all. Since I quit basically the game, this has been definitely a no-go for me. Like, if I can't enjoy myself in PvP, I don't know. I realized that playing PvP in this game just brings at me. I can't do it. I get in a bad mood, and yeah, I didn't want to do it in trials again. I just had no motivation. The SMG also didn't seem like something that I needed to have. Honestly, SMGs aren't kind of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So no, didn't even manage to that. I tried a bit the new seasonal activity. Realized it's copy paste. I literally played the quest. That's it. Realized it's the same thing that we had last season, and then I tried to play IB, and I had the most horrible experience. So a friend of mine wanted me to play with him again. I said, like, all right, buddy, let's go. I was motivated. I thought, new weapons and everything. Picked up the quest, and I thought, like, oh shit, this is just gonna be horrible. But then we load into the match. First thing has had him, it's my hip registration is off because he's like halfway across the world, so I already have lag. This is already starting to piss me off, right? Then I get 2-tapped by a fucking dead man's for some reason, while the guy's floating in the air. Then I freeze, and then I get
remember the dead man's, because I want to come back to that as soon as you're done talking about
we can come back to that.
Yeah.
So then I get spawn killed. I respawn, try to get back on the guy. I do the slide freeze with the Titan, and I managed to freeze him, but somehow the lag, like, he's frozen on my screen, but still gets his, and then he unfreezes for like a split second, shoots the shotgun and freezes again, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like the lag, basically the server's like, oh wait, he shot his shotgun first at you. So then I die on my screen while he's frozen, basically. And then my patience got already was super low. So then I try out aiding a guy, strafe shoot out of the corner and back around the corner, and suddenly his Jotun kills me. And at that moment, I just went to my PC before I got irritated, pressed the off button, and just quit. And I sat there for like 10 seconds, and I realized I can't do this anymore. I can't. So then I just hung out with my friend chat, and I haven't touched the game since.
I'll be honest. I asked open the question about that SMG because the rolls on it are really nice. It feels really good. You can get things dynamic sway and kill clip in unison. The new perks tunnel vision and heating up in unison with kill clip as well. I'm having a lot of fun with it. People were kind of taking to it in small numbers, and I'm curious to see if we ever get back to the closest thing to a recluse in the PvP in the PvP element. Excuse me.
Is it that good?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I lost a lot of close up.
But is it
one-on-ones?
Is it good?
Go ahead.
Shotguns. No, I'm just.
No, I don't think so. I think you could put some distance between yourself, especially with this one, because this one feels and acts like an auto rifle in some cases, and if you could put auto rifle distance between a shotgun and maintain it, yeah, I think you can find a decent counter that's putting in a decent amount of damage. It's going to be interesting to see. No, I mean, it's obviously not near recluse. You're taking that very literal, Greg, very literal. But I feel how it shoots and what it's like to utilize an SMG in the Crucible, it's been the closest thing, in my opinion, to what the Recluses felt like. So,
yeah, well, if you say that, definitely before, like without the perk active, obviously.
Yeah, clearly without the at arms perk, but still, how it feels, putting people down with it, the steadiness of it. I don't know, man. I haven't had his SMG relatively close to that in that.
What archetype is it? I don't even know that.
You're looking too far into it, Greg. You're looking way too far into that comparison. It's the closest thing that we have gotten to a Recluse. I'm not saying it is better than Recluse. What we have right now and what that perk has in its perk pool, which is very strict on really good perks, it's been the closest thing that we have. It's been the very closest thing that we've had to a Recluse replacement in the PvP element. And
what does Tunnel Fish do? That side. What is it?
It gives you accuracy. It gives you accuracy and I believe target acquisition after a kill. So it's
after a kill.
Yeah. So as soon as you proc that kill in the same fashion, it's been the very closest thing that we've had. I wanted to ask you, and you've been more versed on the PC lately, and this weekend, surprisingly, on the Trials report, the #1 used weapon on PC was the Dead Man's Tail. They kind of touched on it a few weeks back when Blackburn mentioned it, saying that DMT was in their purview of something that they would have to like kind of lasso in. I think we're already kind of seeing it take shape. Obviously, overall, between all the platforms, Fellwinter is still reigning supreme regardless of what they've done to Quick Draw. But going through each and every platform and then getting to basically the predominantly used mouse and keyboard platforms between Stadia and PC on Steam, DMT is reigning supreme. How soon? And I know you're kind of limiting yourself, but just based on your experience with this game, how soon do you think they kind of reel this one in? Because this one, the fact that it's sitting 200,000 more than the Fellwinters, man, the Fellwinter's been on top amongst all platforms for the longest time. We went through it one day. I think it was like somewhere around 15 weeks straight. What do you think?
I don't know, man. Have we seen any mid-season balance patch since Beyond Light? Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think we have seen. Yeah, I don't think we've got one with the last season, right, with the 120s, and then we got one now, and they said the fix is ready. I don't know. Maybe they do have something in the pipeline, and that will just come along in this season, but. Honestly, I don't know what the complaint. To me, it feels horrible. To me, it feels horrible to play on PC. Obviously, the feedback will be very one-sided, right? Because on console, I heard it's not that great, right? You can't the hip fires. It's not a last word. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's kind of hard for me to say, honestly. We haven't seen a mid-season patch. If they have something ready, maybe it'll be like something small in the patch notes if people complain too much about it. But right now. It will get buried also with all the stasis complaints, right? Trials on everything on PC just seems very horrible.
And we obviously know the reasons why it is so horrible, because we have to literally pull up someone's profile if we ever have a suspect of anything, and that's predominantly the reason why most people have felt the need to jump to another platform. I'm not like alarmed like the world is crumbling and everything is falling down because of the DMT just taking over. I'm actually just like, man, I'm sitting around and watching just everything burn and be like, man, they kind of knew this was going to happen, especially when they put in that type of gun and the amount of damages it's doing and how precise it is. It's tearing things apart, and I'll be curious to see how long it goes until it gets kind of pulled back a little bit. Some people would say probably around a month, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I forgot the season is going to August, right? So I could see them doing it some way in the summer, probably. If it gets bad in trials, right, to basically shake up trials a little bit towards mid-season. I definitely don't see them doing that before that. And yeah, I think they have so much stuff to address right now, right? We know Bungie can't handle multiple things at once, so they couldn't even address anything right now in the TWAB. They have plenty of issues on their hands, right? Iron Banner, nothing seems to work as it's supposed to this season. With Iron Banner weapons not dropping, right, and all kinds of other weird glitches and bugs. I don't see that happening anytime soon, especially because I think they want to see how much people complain. I think they're getting on the way to kind of even get. I don't know if they want to get rid of PvP, but it seems like it's. I've never seen. I would like to see the play numbers, but to me, I can't play it anymore. I've just gotten so tired of it, and I realize why so many people get angry, right? Because it does make you angry. If you're a streamer, you don't have the ability to just like me shut off the PC, realize, man, I don't want to go to bed angry or annoyed that I played, right? I wanted to be in a good mood, and I could just shut it off. And I don't know if there's many people like the streamers can't do it, so I would want to see how many are actually, keep on playing it in that state. And it depends on that, and it depends on how much the other things they can address so far.
For sure. In total, there's 309,000 total players this weekend, and unless something's at the flawless chest that people really covet, those numbers,
309,000.
Yeah, I think they're just going to dwindle each and every week.
But that doesn't sound that bad to me, surprisingly.
No, it was great. It's the first week of the new season, and the 3-win reward was the SMG. People were disappointed to find out that the messenger was the flawless reward for the fourth or fifth time, especially when they've gone on the routine that the 3-win reward is the flawless reward for the past 4 weeks now. So it's kind of disappointing. And rumor has it this week it's gonna be the Eye of Soul sniper rifle. It'll be nice to get that in the flawless chest again, but we'll have
but isn't that even out of the loot pool completely?
No, they brought it back. It was the 5-win reward last week. It was a 5-win reward, so it's back in the loot pool, and it's got a bunch of different perks on it as well. But that's the rumor that on Friday that Eye of Soul will come out again, and we could talk about trials this weekend in general, how it's probably going to be a disaster. We got Iron Banner going on, and then the raid on Saturday as well. It's gonna be either really inflated Friday, and then it's just gonna completely just die down, especially on Saturday, and maybe pick up a little bit on Monday. But it's gonna be an awkward weekend if you're a trials player. If you're jumping in on Saturday for the first time, Friday definitely might be your best bet of influx. Let's
on PC, I don't know. Like, to me, no reward currently. To me, the adept rewards always have been about prestige, So I wanted to have the adept hand cannon to have an adept hand cannon, to play with an adept hand cannon. There's nothing as good anymore to go through that torture on PC, and especially on the amount of cheaters. I mean, the fact that I couldn't get one card without cheaters ruining it, that's just fascinating. I mean, it's impossible to play.
No, on the PC, I don't blame you, dude.
There's nothing anybody can say that wouldn't have.
It's amazing that you've lasted this long. I walked away after season worthy, and then I played cards here and there in arrivals with friends on PC, and those were torturous. Once the new once Beyond Light came out, I haven't played a card on PC since that
was the first season adept weapons came out, didn't they?
Yeah. I wanted to say to Krebsy, it's nice that 3, 5, and 7 also comes in the chest, but that should have been day one. That should have been way back in Worthy. We should have got that one extra bit of reward. It's minuscule. Like, I'm happy they did that, don't get me wrong. I think that's something good, but that's something that could have been put in the game way back when this whole tirade started with trials and everyone being upset. Let's jump into the topics. Like, I want to know your opinion, because you seemed pretty upset about the seasonal event, and it kind of looked reskinned. Yeah. Give us your take on us going to Mars now, or excuse me, the moon, for the seasonal event.
Yeah, so I kind of have to take small loops so people understand my position. There was one thing that I always enjoyed in Destiny, even at its worst, and that was come home from work or, from a day, sit down, put on your headphones, and just dive into the world, because it's beautiful, right? And the seasonal event first on Europa, I thought it was really cool. It was really well designed. And I played it a bunch. I played like 20 times. Or maybe 15 or something like that. And I was looking forward to that. I thought, like, you know what, even if I play little, and I promised friends to do the raid on Saturday with them, so I kind of wanted to stay in the game, finish the Deathbringer. And that's actually something I did. I finished the Deathbringer Catalyst because everyone forced me to. And man, on the moon already, I thought, like, what? That's Hive now, so it's cool that we're getting different enemies, but it's the same thing. And there's really no different mechanic, not even like because the battlegrounds actually were all really different. I was actually surprised. They were really cool. They were like small strike missions, right? And this one, there's nothing new. And even when you come down, the only thing that's new is that the boss face now teleports you, which people praised, which I mostly find annoying, because the part before is already long, and keep on walking during the boss. I don't know. I played it once, as I said, for the quest, and I felt, man, even that I can't do, because it just feels like I've hammered this point already a lot, right, on this show and back with Lona as well, that this lack of innovation will start getting to people, and I think, to me, it got now, really. There's that Beyond Light really needed to bring something fresh to Destiny, and
it was,
I don't know,
it was new. I wouldn't say
the
fresh.
Point, right? Yeah, it just feels like, I know it's people who say, oh, you just don't like Destiny anymore. Man, there's only so many. Like, this is supposed to be like a game that goes on for another 3 years, right? So this is supposed to be a game that you play as a hobby, and you can't really, because it's gotten so drawn out. Like, champions are old. The whole setting is old, man. Lost sectors are just a chore, even on Legend. They're fucking horrible. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's... It feels like it doesn't feel special anymore. It's grown old, and they really didn't innovate, and they can't even put something fresh in the new location of the seasonal activity, right? Compared to Battlegrounds, I mean, they have to be consistent with that. They have to at least start getting consistent, like Battlegrounds, to give us new shit. And yeah. So as I said, like, I don't see any, and even the loot. Like, people are saying, like, people were looking forward to Hung Jury. I already saw people saying it's garbage. It's garbage in PvE.
I've seen a lot of mixed reviews.
So there's not even rewards you want to go for anymore.
I will say, though, people are liking this sidearm, the Farewell. A lot of people are enjoying that one. So there are a few guns that I think that are kind of breaching above average. But I want to agree with you, and here's why I have a different way of dealing with that problem that you have, and it's kind of like a coping mechanism. And that coping mechanism is just, I feel like I've been almost content with the way that they've done their things, because I've been aware and more so dealing with the way that they've done it in an expectation. And every season, you can almost expect there to be something that is going to be brought from the last, copy and pasted, kind of put into the same area. It's just, I feel like each and every season we're hoping on something fresh, brand new, and then we're kind of let down when we get something that reminds us of something that's already been in the game. I know we're depositing motes, and the last thing that any person wants to do in an event, either it's public or match made, is deposit a mote. Aesthetically, I will say, it looks really cool. This entire area that we're jumping in, the voiceover work with Mithrax, the conversations that he's having with Saint 14 and Osiris, the narrative of that story, I'm really enjoying. I just wish that it could be played in an exponentially bigger way, but I'm kind of just what's the word? Numb. I'm kind of just numb to the fact of expecting something bigger than what we already have in this game. And that kind of tempers the way I speak about it in terms of not having to be overly negative, because I'm just like, man, I knew they were going to do that. Or you gotta had a feeling that they were going to go this direction, whatever that direction may be. So I agree with you. But at the same time, I'm sitting here saying like, yeah, man, it's just what I expect. So is it Friday yet? Like that's kind of my mentality. And these Tuesdays, and I'm hoping it's going to go the full length of the season and not just the first 8 weeks, which more than likely it's going to go the first 8 weeks, that I'm going to have a little fun listening to the story, listening to Mithrax, listening to the other voice actors, be a part of the narrative again, and then in the build up to the next expansion, then we're just caught in the same cycle again.
Yeah,
I just that's what Destiny is now. That's until they break their mold. That's all they're going to be for a long time.
Yeah, but as I said, that I know low expectations is one thing, but it doesn't make up for Beyond Light. You know, it just doesn't make up to not innovate in that. And as Greg said earlier a little bit. They bring in concepts and stop evolving them, right? Mm-hmm. And that's exactly champions. They've been introduced and nothing has changed about them since forever, right? The Nightfalls also, and there were some change. Remember, vanilla year 1 Nightfalls were different. Year 2 Nightfalls were different, and now it's starting to get stale. It seems like they arrived at the for them perfect recipe, and it's just not.
Yeah.
And I know having low expectations, that's what I'm saying, but that's how we're supposed to talk about the game, play the game, right? You're just saying like, whatever, I'm just looking forward to trial because that's your thing, which is cool. Me just sitting there being like, man, I can't even dive into the worlds because there's nothing like, to me the quest is interesting. I'm even the guy who likes to load into that loading. I know people will laugh now who know me, but like I like to load into that new area with the Fallen and just listen to all the tiny things you can interact.
You can even hear the babies talking and stuff like that.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. You can hear like little like if you go where there's spices.
This is the only thing I'll do after this. I'll start up the game to look for these fucking babies and hear them talk. Like
in the little dark areas you could see them. I was like, are they holding the babies? I'm like, yeah. And then I walked up and you hear like a little baby dreg coo, or the closest thing to it. So yeah,
dude, that was all planned, man. They knew this was, see why because somebody brought this up to me, why Baby Yoda was different. Well, Baby Yoda was planned, but it was different. It was around, and then they brought out the merchandise, so it seemed like it got to a level where everybody loved it, and then they like fan serviced it, right?
Of course.
With Bungie, it seemed way more artificial because one person notices the baby Fallen, and like 10 minutes later, oh, you like those? Oh, we created this special baby Fallen for you. I'm like, come on, man. That's like...
It makes you think that they probably had this idea of the Fallen being some sort of refugee, but they were like, yo, why don't we put some baby dregs and it will blow up? I'm sure it probably went along those 100%. Lines. And they probably didn't incorporate the baby dreg idea until well after season 2 of The Mandalorian, when Grogu finally exploded within pop culture. But they're taking advantage of those, and I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna go out and buy their plushies. But we won't. We have gotten news on an anti-cheat. Supposedly it's easy anti-cheat. Can't really take Can't really take that one to the bank yet. That's the biggest
Who leaked that?
once circling around the windmill. A bunch of people, a bunch of content creators have been talking about it. It's been on Reddit. It's been pretty much everywhere. That's pretty much what they're going to be going with. I don't know. We'll see exactly how that pans out. I won't hold my breath. I really wouldn't expect most people to hold their breath either. Most people that were either on PC at some point either are leaving the game because they refuse to get a console, which I fully understand. When you spend maybe $5,000 on a rig and then being forced to go back because a development company can't install a proper anti-cheat, I can't blame you for it. I'm just an Xbox person. I have an account. I have investment into an account, so it was easy for me to make that type of transition. So I can't fault anybody for not wanting to go back.
Man, I'll
to
gladly,
hardware.
if they allow mouse and keyboard, I'll gladly sell the rig, keep the cash from a 3070, and buy a PS5 for my profits. I have no issue with that. The thing is, I mean, I don't know anything about easy anti-cheat. If it works, great. The problem is also, but the net code. What I realized, the amount, like, you play Apex and every bullet hits, and then you're back in Destiny and you're just like, your enemy stutters across the screen and suddenly you're dead, and then you hear the shots while you're dead, and you're like, what the fuck's happening? Like, are we playing on, like, is everybody playing on dial-up? This is 2021 and the game is just aging. And yeah, somebody said something. Wait, what was that? Yeah, Sam said the bosses is one of the biggest culprits. They're non-threatening, no innovation. Exactly. Like, there's nothing that really. The bosses aren't really super cool either, right? Because now that I think about it, like, think about the progress we made in the boss, right? We had Riven, which is like this huge animal, right? Not even like a full, like, it's just like part of it is huge showing on screen. Kind of like that was a worthy follow-up on King's Fall, in my opinion. Then we got Scourge, right? Scourge was smaller, but it was super innovative in a sense that, yeah, it's a servitor and a fucking, like, a mech suit, man. That was fucking cool.
Brig, yeah.
And then Galron, even, I didn't like that raid, but like, he was huge. He had that, you know, it seemed like a boss. And then we got Garden, which is just another Vex Minotaur. And then we got now Deepstone Crypt, which is just Tanix in a shank. I don't know, like. And now we got Atheon back. And Atheon was the first raid, but man, it has aged also. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Like, yeah, it seems like there's not a, yeah, the innovation is just.
Well, before we jump in,
and it doesn't feel threatening. It doesn't feel exciting to discover this world anymore. Nothing is threatening to you. Nothing, yeah, except for stupid light level. The only thing that's threatening this game is a bullshit power cap. When you go into a legend, dude, I tried to get those legs. No, that was before, actually, before the season drop. There was something I needed from Lost. I think I needed to kill enemies, right, for the seasonal challenge. And man, the amount of times I died to bullshit. And then, yeah, you figure out the perfect way to do it, but it's just so careful. It's not fun. It's just tedious. You have to know, like, oh, here I hide, here I step out, tag the servitor. Oh, he gets shielded. Get him, like, use the snipe, anti-barrier snipe. Get him down. Go back into my hiding spot. I know the shank's on the right. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. This is not exciting gameplay to me. Nothing is right now.
Again, I just think it's part of their mold. It's part of their direction of what they want to be, and they're content with that. And I mean, most are. I wanted to ask you about Banner, and then it's been kind of buggy for the past, I don't know, few days, in my opinion. There's been all types of connection issues, people lagging.
If you by buggy mean there's supposed to be new weapons which aren't dropping, so basically it's not working at all.
that is a issue in its own, because the machine gun and the shotgun, and the shotgun's pretty coveted. And to be fair, I've actually heard mixed reviews on the shotgun, the Reese Walker as well. Some people say it's Some people still think Astral is better in the kinetic slot. Other people think because of the quick draw still being able to roll on that gun still puts it ahead. You just got to deal with the cooldown of quick draw now. But
Sorry, I gotta adjust
I
the
don't.
camera.
I don't know. It doesn't really affect me to the point, clearly, because I'm not a giant shotgun person. I'll just use whatever I have if I ever need to put one on. But that's one issue. The fact that they haven't put that back in yet. Some people probably spent all their tokens. I know majority of the time, each and every banner, as soon as I finish my bounties, I'm cashing in. I'm cashing in, and other people probably like, "Where's my shotgun?" And they were probably duped out. And there's going to be no way to give people back of what something they lost. So it's kind of just like, oops. These things kind of happen all the time under the hood, problems. But what are you gonna do? I usually get excited for banner, but the past few, it's just been a little bit lackluster. I'm always disappointed to see the same armor over and over again. I know they said that they have some in the works. I think it's taken way too long to put in some banner armor. It way too long, and then them pushing it back to even season 15, if not season 16. It's too far. It's too far in my opinion. What's your opinion on the state of banner before we talk about the state of PvP, and then we're gonna jump into this raid?
So banner as well. People have said that it's lost its charm a long time ago. I heard there was different game modes in D1, right? Why did we ever get control? It feels like something that they never really innovated on either. Why don't we get different game modes? Why don't we get Iron Banner Clash for once? Why don't we get new armor, right? Iron Banner doesn't need much. It needs a new armor set, a couple new weapons, which the 4 are fine in my opinion. That's actually good for once too. I don't mind the recycled Year 1 weapons. We haven't gotten them in random rolls yet.
Yeah. I think people can be content with that.
Quests too, man. The quest design is always the same. It's the same quest every season, right? What Iron Banner armor is it this season actually? Which one is the request set this season?
I can't remember the name of it or where it came from, but I always remember what the helmet looks like. It's one of the Year 1 helmets for the hunter. It's the one where he's got the dragon teeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know which one.
Yeah. So that's the armor set. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was my favorite one, I guess, of all the Iron Banner, just because the helmet looked really dope for the hunter. But I'm ready. It's just the D1 armor sets, even the regular ones outside.
So
they were so good. Yeah, like what happened to those artists? Like, what did they just like hit plateau after they made all their D1 stuff? I don't know, man. It's very lackluster. Very lackluster. Iron Banner Mayhem. That's what it felt like yesterday when we were in it. Just everyone with their skills.
I see, Ronald. Thanks.
What about the state of PvP?
Besides the general state, so the general state of PvP, at least on PC, is atrocious, right? As I said, I wanted to play with a friend. I wanted to give 0 shits about anything, really. And I go in there, and all I want, and the quest, because of the quest design, right? You need to get these types of kills. You need to get these zones. I couldn't even get to the second round. It was just bad luck. But I was just like, man, I don't want to do this. I'm going to play here for like 2 hours, get halfway through the quest, and then I'm going to go off and be like, what the fuck did I just do this for? It's not Clash. It's not anything fun. They didn't even innovate in the quest. Like, for example, they could do something fun, right? Let's say you play meta. You play hand cannon shotgun, all right? You can choose the hand cannon shotgun quest, and it's going to take longer. You can get like precision kills. Maybe press like a shotgun followed up with a hand cannon kill or something like that, and it's going to take you a bit longer. But then maybe there's a off meta quest, maybe, right? Maybe there's like you can get this with sidearms, and it's slightly different, a little bit easier, but tougher to do because it's sidearms, right? I don't know. There's so many things they could do even with the quest. There's so many things to do with they could do with the game mode. Obviously, the rewards, like the armor, just has to be. I can't believe we didn't get a new armor with the expansion at least.
Yeah. And
yeah, it's just sad. It's just the same shit over and expect different results, right? It's kind of the definition of insanity, right? People slamming tokens, expecting a shotgun, nothing happens.
I'm over the shotguns.
And then in general, I don't know. Deadman's is not fun to play against. It's not fun. It's not a fun play style at all. It's not even fun to play for me. It's just tapping like far away, waiting for people to go into lanes, and then just spamming it right in the general direction. That's boring. Add to that stasis, would add to that the latency issues and everything. And you got a mixture that's just, it's dead. To me, it's dead. I can't imagine. I'll check it out probably next time when anti-cheat drops, maybe. So like, but
so you can feel more compelled to do the things that you want to do. You
even
feel
sixes,
very
man.
limited.
But I was not surprised. Iron Banner felt like sixes to me always, so I never minded it.
Yeah.
But even that, I just, to me, it's on PC, it's just dead. I can't do it anymore.
It's hard, especially after you've invested all this time, and then you're just really slapped in the face, and you can't do anything past. Xenomorph, I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate everyone being in here discussing the raid, and we're also going through a few other topics. We were just talking about Iron Banner. Lightleap's giving his overall opinion on PvP. There was a giant hashtag.
How's it on console for you? Like, I mean, change. Because the
listen,
dead
it's so hard.
You at all, right?
It's so hard. No, the dead man. There's people that are good with it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to have that same sort of effect. It's the same way that last word and chaperone are just better on controller and on console in comparison to when you have something as precise as DMT, and you can even fire it at a hip fire and hit links that are on mapping. It's just you're gonna dominate. You're gonna dominate with that. So it's so hard for me to get into this because I can definitely see why people feel the way they feel about the current state of PvP, and more specifically stasis. My KD and my experience has only gone up since stasis. I have been able to utilize it as another weapon. I have not really changed with the stasis meta. I've actually stayed pretty consistent. Since day one, I have not switched Whisper of Fissures. Yeah, Whisper of Fissures and Whisper of Fragments using Winter Shroud and Shatter Dive with the Glacial Grenade. I haven't needed a change. I've just adapted with it, with the changes to it, and I've been able to excel with it. So it's really hard for me to get on some sort of hashtag movement. Do I think it could be wrangled in a little bit? But yes. But what people are asking for out of stasis, it's not fundamentally possible without removing the entire damn subclass from the game or a playlist. We are not going to go back to pre-November 9th. It's just not happening anymore, because by the time this one finally gets put into a place where maybe 75% of people aren't bitching about it anymore, we got a new subclass on the horizon, and that's going to be something that's just going to be overly powerful and overly messing up whatever meta people are being used to. Again, do I'm going to sit here and not agree with the changes that people would? No, I always thought for the longest time Shatter Dive should have had a cooldown. I always thought for the longest time you shouldn't be mapped by a grenade. You shouldn't be pulled in by a dust field. You shouldn't be instantly frozen by a cold snap. What they were in the very beginning. I've agreed with all of that, but when is it finally going to be okay? That's good enough, and I don't think that's ever possible. With people, some responses of take it out, like that's your extreme. Like you cannot get in an argument or a conversation and be like, all right, that should be handled that way, and this should be handled this way. The removing of freezing can be discussed in a way where supers still freeze, and to remove a freezing mechanic, even if you put it at the lowest time of freeze, you're deleting a subclass. You're deleting the kit of the subclass.
Yeah, but I think I think that's necessary at some point if they really want to.
I mean, that's where the conversation needs to happen on their end, where they need to say, hey, this was our true vision of stasis. But they never really said that. They just said, you're freezing, you're slowing.
I think they just wanted to sell it as something powerful, right?
True.
I think the only way forward would be to what they should experiment with. I'm not an expert in game balancing, so this might be completely off the rails, right? But what they could do, because I think shit only becomes annoying if everyone runs it, right? If you would, if only, let's say, in a lobby, only 2 players would be running stasis and less something else, I think it would be less annoying. So how do you get to that point? If they would experiment, I wonder if they could experiment with the subclasses canceling each other, right? So for example, solar,
the rock paper
being
scissors
super strong against stasis, right?
Yes, yes.
So, and then players would gamble. They would be like, okay, I can have this freezing, right? But if I run against a player that's solar, right? Or people switch to solar, like like everything melts away, or somehow it's not powerful, right? Or you can't freeze them even.
Mm-hmm.
And that would, I think, then you would have to make a choice when running a subclass. And I wonder, yeah, it would start with everyone then running solar at first, but then it would balance out. Some people would just be like, I don't want to do that. I'll just run void or something, right? And then going forward, if they introduce new powerful darkness subclass, it could always be this like you would always have this trade-off, right? You can be strong against one thing, weak against another, and people would just naturally balance out the one that annoys them least, which means the one that has the least weakness against something else.
People will find the one subclass that still doesn't have that much of a weakness.
Balance towards gunplay because you punish just as much power as you give, I think. That's like, if they don't want to remove the subclass, that's the only way I see of going forward. I agree, it's super difficult balancing. I can't even like formulate it more than a general concept idea, right? I couldn't.
Well, you can see they're kind of going with what we're talking about with the new Titan pants. You use the Titan, and I honestly,
Dual March is never coming off my feet.
I'm telling you, dude. These are nasty. Never. These are nasty.
I believe
I have a buddy who I play with on Xbox. His name's Ember Jazz. He was utilizing the shield, the glacial grenade, the wall, and he was breaking it. And we were collecting the tectonic, the tectonic shield. Little crystals, and we were getting and giving him an overshield, and you were staying alive. Your solar weapons were proccing the ability on this. You were staying off of a freeze, or a slow for a lot less time. I feel like they're kind of working it in right under our noses in terms of that, like, yin to that yang against something like stasis. Will every light subclass have a counter? No, but maybe they'll make things within the light subclass that will help you best fight people that are walking stasis. So I'm thinking maybe it's going to be, they're going to make light, maybe whether it's exotics, or they obviously still need to boost these light subclasses up a little bit. You know, these pants are a step in the right direction, but you need to give it to everybody. So I think the pants, if you can ever give them a try, get your hands on them, it would be nice.
Yeah. I'll try if I ever do run that super lost sector, because that's now they can randomly drop, right? So this is also something I don't understand why they're not giving us options. Right, so you like the exotic thing, right? It's only lost sectors. Okay, now you can run. I guess you can run random, just get random exotics until you get the new ones, but that's kind of impossible with the new pool. Yeah. I don't know where this is going, honestly. I haven't seen them innovate even in PvE, so I kind of doubt they're gonna put effort into innovating in PvP, right? But that's kind of my worry, because if they don't put energy in the main thing, which is undoubtedly PvE, do you see them really putting so much work? They don't even have a Crucible team anymore. Do you think they're gonna go beyond of even turning down stasis even more in PvP until it's basically useless? I think that's essentially where we're gonna get it when we're like third quarters through the new year and everyone's tired of stasis and it's already almost hype time for the next expansion. They're just gonna basically destroy stasis in PvP. And wait, really, Brolo? I thought they fixed that. I thought you could now run I thought you could run down Nightfalls now too until you get them.
No.
Oh no, before it was like you still have to get now. Before you couldn't get them at all with the new thing, right? So yeah, so I don't know. I don't see them doing anything with PvP. I think they're just gonna basically turn off stasis by, like, as I said, 3/4 of the year. People will be happy again, and then we're gonna do the same shit again in year 5 with the new poison subclass.
And that very well could come to fruition, where we're just right back to where we started last November, bitching about stasis, what it's going to be like in PvP. But here we are with something brand spanking new. So
that, like, wait, can we
no, yeah, 100%.
Because PvE has innovated a lot. Name a couple of those innovations. I mean, do you mean builds? What are besides Warmind cells?
Charge with light was cool.
I like. Sorry.
Charge with light is very cool. I'll.
But only because of the double damage. Because only of the double damage and
Powerful Friends has been a staple to my build for a year now. And
I mean, but it's just basically Powerful Friends just gives you plus 20 mobility, right?
It's extremely minimal. It's extremely minimal, but that is something I think that was well taken. Something. It's not groundbreaking. It's not revolutionary. No, but it's something good within a new implementation.
I mean, it does impact gameplay, but it's not. There's no innovation in the content itself.
No,
right?
not at all. The content of what we're actually playing is still the same.
To me, that's like saying, "Oh, we're playing different strikes now because you have stasis." Right? Wasn't there some content creator that said, "Oh, it will be basically like playing new content because you're playing with a new subclass"? Man, that's some stretching right there. I don't know. Get supers in 20 seconds with charge like an energy converter. Yeah, I mean, all right, I'll give you guys that. We can do builds now. It's true, but that's not enough.
I don't think you have a problem.
And getting your supers faster is not. And yes, they can't do more in PvP. I never thought builds would be that exciting in Destiny. And if you say I don't have any ideas, as I said, look at Europa, right? We've been getting planets for like 7 years of the franchise now, and what difference did we get? Did we get any cool areas? Why is this like?
I don't necessarily think you have a problem. Real quick. I don't necessarily think you have a problem with the new builds, things like Charge at Light, Warmind cells, Elemental Wells. You have a problem with what we're utilizing those things continuously in. The same old dribble that we're playing that old stuff while utilizing the new things that they're giving us each and every season.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. I mean, builds are cool and all. I don't think they are deep enough to give a feeling of you're building your character, and they're not impactful enough to actually change gameplay in an impactful. I'll give you an example because this is what I recently thought about. All right, what truly would have been innovating, right? Imagine if the Beyond Light story would have been better for a second, and you would have gone there, met the House of Light, and for example, there would have been a new social space and like a market area with these Elixni, right? These fallen, House of Light being refuge. You build them up throughout the campaign. They get new shit, right? Instead of the stupid collectible tent, you actually see them grow their secret area, expanding, and there would be traders, right? Something more of an RPG, and you could get quests from them that bring you to different parts of Europa where you fight like crazy bosses. You go there, you realize, shit, I'm too low light, right? Or stuff like that, like stuff that you know from The Witcher, or man, something that innovates, that makes this planet feel fresh. Mm-hmm. That would have been something. That's the innovation I'm talking about. I don't want to click on some buttons to get some mods, because the builds in RPGs, in my opinion, is fun when you farm for like a talent on a piece of armor. You farm for, you get it, and you have to find the equivalent. In Destiny, it's just a set of menus that you combine, and then like, oh cool, now I can get my super 20% faster. Man, I realize you're fans of Destiny, but come on, man, like if I can say it in your president's voice, come on, man, like be real, like come on, don't fool me here, like let's talk about something real and not like some stupid buttons that you press and oh cool, you get your super 20 seconds faster. Right, it's just
again, I don't disagree. I think these new builds that we get, these new implementations of the mod system, the mods are how we create these builds, and I have had a lot of fun with them, but over time just using new mods on the same old content can get very, very, very taxing on your experience. And I don't think anybody necessarily will disagree with you personally, Lightleap, on what you want out of this game and what you're content with. I really don't think so. I think people can disagree with how you view whatever something that they feel positive about, but what you want out of this game, I don't think anybody will necessarily disagree with. They'll think you're a little bit rambunctious and want it all now, but I feel with the investment,
man, we've been waiting. Shadowkeep has been an excuse.
We've invested.
Beyond Light was supposed to be like, yes. Come on, like they're building up their studio, they're building a new franchise. I'm just done with pretending like they don't have the money, they don't have the bandwidth. No, this is what we're content with, and I, for one, am now really at the point where I just can't play it anymore because it's just not fun. It's really just, yeah.
Well, we are going down nostalgia road now. This Saturday, right here on this channel, we're gonna be jumping into the raid, and I want to talk about this raid a little bit, kind of in preparation to get our expectations set to what we're going to experience, how we're going to be feeling, and kind of almost see what we can almost think we can expect in our minds on what is going to happen. Nostalgia. Let's start there. I think I'm going to walk down nostalgia road. I think everyone's going to walk down nostalgia road and kind of remember things that they did or didn't get to do the first time around in Vault of Glass. Lightleap, how much does nostalgia mean to you going back and doing this raid, and how much do you want to see changed in comparison to kept the same?
Well, I haven't played the first one. I watched some raid videos. I've watched some content of other content creators, like a history channel on Destiny that kind of went through how it went and what the encounters were. My issue with it will already be, and that I will tell you, is as I explained before with the seasonal activity. I really enjoy jumping in, feeling immersed in the world, right? I want to like discover the shit, and the raid always felt like let's say Deep Stone Crypt, right? It was always part of this world, right? You play the campaign and everything, and now you arrive at the Deep Stone Crypt, right? The raid opens, it continues what you've discovered in the DLC. Same with Garden of Salvation. So it always had this discovery part for me. With the way they approach it now, that there will be a node on the director that you just start up, and it will be not connected to the story at all. I kind of worry how much I will have this nostalgia feeling, because I won't have this part where I feel like I'm going back in time into Destiny 1 or discovering something. It will just be part of Venus, right? I played Venus actually because I played a little bit of D1 before D2 released. And not even that, you will just be in this beginning area. There won't be anything special, I guess, because it's just not a planet, right? Because I remember the mission in Destiny, man, where I first played it, and you arrived on Venus, killed some Fallen, and the mission, and then these robots. I remember, did they spawn in, or did they come to life? I don't remember. Like, I was like, what the fuck is happening? That was super cool.
When you see the Vex for the first time, yeah.
It's that part will be. Dude. I always worried, and because Menagerie already felt like that to me. I always feel Destiny at its worst. Some people can do that, right? They just have fun doing 6-man activities. They don't care about any of how it feels. They just want to kill shit and see explosions. To me, it always had to be part of the world, and I always felt that Destiny was at its worst if every activity felt like you're coming into a casino and then picking like what slot machine you're choosing. And Vault of Glass will kind of feel that way. You'll just choose it on the director and be like, okay, I'm playing this now. it won't be part of the story. You won't be able to immerse yourself as well. That's my worry about it. I don't like this type of implementation.
Yeah. Brett, just a comment. It's really unfortunate they keep pushing back the goalposts in terms of handling things that probably should have been handled. I don't see why it couldn't have taken maybe a day, if not two. Not involved in that, but they probably could have changed a few things to ensure something was being dropped properly within the loophole. It's crazy that it takes a whole month, but what are you going to do about it? It's almost like another expectation that you have. They know they're not going to get around to something. It's amazing that they went and just disabled a mod 2 weekends ago this weekend. I was going to say 2 weekends ago. It was actually on Friday Saturday when they disabled a mod because people were basically destroying with the Telesto and the symmetry. It was pretty wild. But I want to talk about the day one experience and what that was like compared to what we had last November, and taking part in that for the very first time myself, and getting the response for the community, because the response for the community after the day one event, which should have been a little bit more ceremonious, it was not. It was actually met with a lot of friction, and people were really pissed off after what content creators were saying about the raid. Whether you think it was hard or whether you think it was easy, that day one experience was a lot of fun for most, and regardless of where you fell on the totem pole of finishing first or last, to belittle the experience because you didn't finish first or whatever the means, I really hope we don't see that again this time. This isn't technically a very first experience because we've been through this raid before, so we're going to be jumping through a little bit extra hoops to classify whoever they are as day one fire team. What's your opinion on that in comparison, on the day one race, in comparison to what we went through at Deepstone Crypt?
Oh man, do we as mere mortals really care that much about the day one raid race? I mean, for me, it's about getting it completed, getting the emblem. That's it. I don't think I need to do the challenge for the emblem. Please tell me I don't need to do the challenge for the emblem. I don't even know why I care about the emblem. I only go there for my friends, but still, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna bother with the challenges at all. That stuff never interested me. Lately, we don't have anything to go by. The last challenges they implemented in Deepstone Crypt are extremely boring. They have been for a while. My biggest issue with it is that they kind of ruined the VOG experience anyways, because of the time gated master difficulty. Like, this is not how you do this is not how you do a harder raid difficulty, in my opinion. In any game like this is a perfect example of why Destiny has not figured out in 7 years of how to do gear and gear up, right? The way to do this is you put out VOG and you say in a week or two there's going to be master, and you got to be power level, let's say 1400, and the stuff for it only drops in VOG. Right? Or 1320, and 1320 shit only drops in VOG. You gotta like farm VOG, and you can repeat it, but you have to farm it. That's how you play, right? Because then you have an incentive. You can't go into the hard mode. You have to go through the difficulties, right? There is no reason to do this. Like, even my friends said they're gonna play day one, finish it, and be done with it. Why grind for anything? Why grind for any of the weapons if hard mode is coming out, right? There's absolutely no reason. This time gate is the most idiotic thing they have done in a while.
By opening stuff later on in the season with like Grandmasters, and now with this hard mode raid, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think why?
I agree.
This is taking out power level already is so arbitrary in my opinion. Now with contest mode everywhere, anyways, it's become completely useless. It's meaningless. Pinnacles are meaningless. It's just there to like they even eliminated the grind for the people who still wanted it in the game because they realized nobody wants to fucking grind power level anymore in Destiny. And yeah, that's kind of
and that's put them in such an awkward spot really fast just about the power level, because we only went up 10 this season, and then they still don't have the Grandmasters opening up until June pretty much. So I mean, unless their motive was to ensure practically everyone in that time would be beefy enough to jump into the Grandmasters, I don't know. It's like they almost, and everyone's gonna hate to hear this, it's like it's almost they're making like a free-to-play way to have access to things like Grandmasters by making the jump to Pinnacle not so high and people to boost up their artifacts so they can get into those higher end activities. I agree about the raid. I think maybe that hard mode should have been a week. They should have made that first week available to people to jump in after that contest 24 hours. Give that first week for everyone to jump in at that normal pace, because you know there's people that are just going to dig their teeth in, play it 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day for that very first week, and they're going to be wanting more, and then they're going to have to wait a whole month and a half for the hard mode to come out. I think you just make that hard mode come out that very next week after you have that initial launch of it. But I guess that's just wishful thinking.
I mean, at this model, there is no point in. It's just unnecessary time gaining of content they don't have, right? That's unfortunate, but it's the way it is. It's the way they do it now. Yeah. So I'm kind of. Somebody said that you have to complete Jackie. You have to complete challenge mode on day 1 to get the emblem. It's the Tempo's Edge Triumph. Well, that sucks. That means there's no emblem for me. I mean, it depends on the challenges, but I'm definitely not spending more time in there than I have to.
Yeah, so, I'm really curious about these challenges. I'm assuming they're going to be comparable to how we would guild something, if that's my guess. Because what else have we done that's a step ahead in terms of unlocking another tier of triumphs? Guilding. And the guilding, and this is not from anyone who would consider themselves a relatively anywhere close to a 2.0 player. I like playing PvP, but I got my gilded done that in the 4 hours that I streamed last Friday. So, I mean, it's not that difficult, and it gives probably other people hope that are either like me or relatively close to me or just ahead of me, that they can do stuff like this, jump into raids, get seals for raids, even though I'm not a PvE guy, guild flawless titles the first day. Obviously, that's what I do in this game. That's where I put my focus, but to know that I can do it, it should reassure other people that to get things done. My biggest gripe with this game was putting the time in and then feeling like I got jack shit for it. Trials makes you feel that way. Grandmaster Nightfalls make you feel that way. Granted, they should make you feel that way. Grandmaster Nightfalls, you're trying to do the hardest thing in that game, or in the game in terms of PvE. And then you could say the same thing for going flawless in Trials, but we've had multiple discussions about the Trials problem, giving loot each and every game, win or lose, giving it to at least be a random chance to give that person loot if they lost, kind of like how Iron Banner does it. But we'll digress way too much on that. But speaking of loot and speaking of replayability, is it gonna take to the hard mode for people to feel like, all right, I can go back into this raid now, I can continuously play this raid now because of the hard mode factor making it a little bit more fun, that challenge factor to it, and then the loot? Is the loot gonna be, the cycle gonna be worth people's time to go keep going in there? And distribution. How are they going to give us this loot? Are they going to give us a chest at the end like the Deepstone Crypt? Is that going to be the new way of doing things? Are they going to keep the vaulted mentality to vaulted glass? Like, these are the types of questions I'm asking myself pre-going into it. Again, I'm not at any means a raider, a PvE god, or whatever you want to label that types of person or people that focus their PvE time, but I did get Descended taken care of, whether you want to call it easy or not. I'm putting hours into this game. I think if you're playing it for that long, you should be able to do it. Practice makes perfect. But those are the questions I'm asking. And are these questions, do you think you have answers to them? Are you going to be able to go and replay this thing pre-hard mode? Is the loot cycle going to be good enough for you? And what about distribution?
Bro, if hard mode is like GMs, I will only grind normal. You won't get me in the fucking hard mode. That's also a question that we haven't asked here, right? What's hard mode gonna be? Is it gonna be fun? Is it gonna be like contest modifier and actually like farmable, or is it gonna be fucking pain and torture? And I could see them imagine this. They're gonna do it weekly, like the GMs. It will be torture. Like I can already see, man. The champion's gonna be ass. It's gonna be super annoying to play hard mode, and there's gonna be one weekly weapon that has a low drop chance. Otherwise, you only get armor or something like this. They'll pull shit like this. I swear to you, they will fucking pull shit. Like
I don't doubt it. I from how they're giving us this nightfall loot on this weekly rotation, I wouldn't be surprised if we got something each and every week is something more powerful.
Because I can't.
Does Adept Ray gun sound like a thing
Raid
or no?
already have a weekly lockout, right? So it might be that you'll just play the hard mode every week. So, but yeah, if it's GM level, I won't even touch that shit, man.
I think most people would be.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, I don't know. It's gonna take hard for me. It's gonna be hard to grind anything. I'll gladly play and maybe run it with friends rather than PvE, rather than PvP. Fatebringer, you get me. Where you get me with nostalgia is good sounding, good D1 weapons. I feel that the sound in D1, like, to anybody questioning this, we'll look up a video of how Ace of Spades sounded, right? How Outbreak sounded. The weapons had way more like, doom. You know, they had like a hard-hitting sound. Ace especially, and that's kind of, I don't know what changed in the sound. I'm actually curious from it, because I feel like the sound philosophy has changed. I would be curious to hear a sound designer telling us why, what they're doing. But even Hawkmoon, right? Hawkmoon sounds softer. It has a bit of a different. It seems like they're going in a different direction with weapons. But man, Hawkmoon. But I see old D1 videos and hearing that old hand cannon sound that doesn't even exist in D2 anymore, mind you. Because even stuff like Duke or even now Palindrome don't sound the same. Like, trust me, listen to the old videos. If they bring back, I would love Fatebringer sounding that way. And if I get my hands on these D1 weapons, that would be amazing. Like, because my biggest issue right now is that there's no way to play D1 on PC. That would be my biggest dream. Because even without no content, I think there would be plenty of content. I've watched some videos of how the progression is in that game. I think that would be way more up my alley, and eventually it would be done like Outriders. But people don't have a problem with that, right? So, yeah, it's hard for me to say in what direction a normal world would be. I don't think people who actually play the game, like the people who hang out here and talk about the game, will be enticed to grind it with hard mode around the corner. I can't see that happening, unless they're pinnacle horse, right? They want to get the 230 and 20 as soon as possible. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think this is something that we can't answer. And as I said, what do you think hard mode will be? That's another question. I have to separate for like 2 seconds, but I'm listening.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't know what hard mode is going to be. I don't think it's going to be Grandmaster. Maybe it might be just a step below, maybe a master difficulty to it. But I'm curious what are going to be the next level of rewards for doing that hard mode. And let me ask chat as well. Do you guys think raid adept weapons is or will ever be a thing? Because when I see a hard mode, I that's the first thing I come to mind.
Oh, we already know they are.
Oh well then there
you didn't know that?
No, that's
Light GG. There's time lost versions of the current weapons. Oh, sorry, I thought you knew that.
No.
So this is something. Yeah, there's time lost weapons in Light GG right now. Time lost variants of the weapons of Fatebringer and stuff like that. So that's definitely coming back. And yeah, bro, see, I told you. There's a confirmation. Like the one had different sounds in Outbreak. Yeah, it has like a different undertone. Anyway, so that's confirming my hypothesis. So yeah, there's timeless weapons. Yeah, will be, and so we don't know. I don't. This is something I'm not sure on yet. I don't know. We don't know what that means. If that means they have a second perk choice, for example, or if they have kind of an adept slot, we don't know. I don't think that's known yet, but we know there's timeless weapons.
So then the next question I had, new adept mods. Do we get stuff that's raid specific? Do we get things that are obviously helpful in the raid but can be utilized elsewhere? Where I have always felt, and this goes by any, looting type game where you're influenced by jumping into the PvE so you can utilize what you found in PvE to kill people in PvP, would be, and this is a prayer. I really hope there's something good in this raid PvP wise to force PvP people to jump into PvE. I think that's a perfect homogenized area. I always feel bad for PvE people to have to jump into PvP stuff to get stuff that would probably make their experience easier and or more fun in the PvE element, but they have to jump into trials to go do it. Put the whole circle of life into this game. Put something really badass in PvP in the raid that can be utilized, whether it's the perk pool, the archetype of a weapon. That's, in my opinion, that's when the game, in any game, is at a perfect state of harmony, when PvP and PvE are perfect together. When you're being forced to get out of your comfort zone and into activities, and that's not just one-sided as well. PvE players just going to PvP activities to get stuff shouldn't only just be a thing. It should be a little bit more homogenized as well. Do you feel that the end chest or whatever it's going to be at the very end is going to be similar to Deepstone, or it's just going to be a one-off type thing?
I mean,
we have a currency.
Any intelligent person would say, well, yeah, there is a spoiled mechanic in the game. They implemented it in the last raid, so naturally there will be secret chests that drop spoils, and you can choose your reward in the end, right? Why would they remove a very popular mechanic from the game? Everybody celebrates it. Then we're talking about Bungie, so it's probably not going to be that way.
Very true.
I mean, right? As you said earlier, I'm expecting just the worst. I don't even know what I remember that the secret chests, right? That was like exotics were rare. I think people would be very disappointed with how VoG plays in D2. I really think that especially D1 players would be like, man, I realize nostalgia isn't that great, or this doesn't work as well in D2. I wonder, like, yeah, maybe they will go with the spoils route, and people will be like, well, somehow VoG in D1 was more exciting. Well, yeah, because exotics were rare, right? You were forever 29 until you finally found legs. You didn't even get, I don't think even something was guaranteed from the encounters back then, right? People just got some kind of currency. Man, that's my kind of game. Like, I love that hardcore shit. Like, you just bust your ass in a day one raid and just get some currency. not get to it. You have to run it again but then no lockout, right? You have to like run it again, and then you get something super rare, man. Oh man, I want that spare rations.
And that's then you just that word, the word you just said, lockout. Like, that's another thing I'm thinking about, and I'm pretty sure Vex Mythoclast is going to be the coveted weapon, as as Eyes was for Deepstone. Is it going to be the same mechanic with that, where we're gaining 1% each every time we do it on that one respective character, or is it going to be neutral for the first month until people complain about it enough, and then they're like, yeah, it was all part of our plan? No, I don't know. These are the kinds of questions and worries I'm already asking myself, and we haven't even jumped into it yet. And again, it's all about time and investing ourselves. We're going to be playing 8 or 9 hours to be a part of something, and then we might not even get remotely close to anything that we want. And I guess it's part of the risk and reward factor to doing these types of events. But hey, well, there's really not much you could do about it. We're just waiting on the TWAB. We're still discussing the raid and kind of either our hopes, expectations, and what we kind of think where it could lead to, whether it's in a normal mode, the hard mode, adept weapons possibly. But one of the community managers did mention that the TWAB was supposed to be out early. It's already 2 o'clock Pacific, so 1 hour prior to when it normally comes out. So I don't know what their idea of early is. so they're a little off the pot over there.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk. Let's see what Chad has to say about all of that. I'm curious what Wheezy is saying. What were you replying to? They were guaranteed, but people had that feeling after a while, hated that feeling after a while. That's why they had to change IB back in Vanilla D1. I hate it forever. Man, I didn't play it, so, bro, like, when I'm saying it sounds great is because I loved having that feeling of my character, like, representing a power because it went through a hard activity. Right now, there's no way of telling if someone played, like, 20 hours of Crucible and got powerful drops for 4 weeks, or if someone actually did the supposedly hardest activity in the game, right? So I'm saying I like what Forever 29 represented. I'm sure it sucked not getting these stupid boots in Forever. So maybe that was shitty implemented. I just think that we should go back to the most powerful gear represented with power level dropping from the most powerful activities, personally. Like, you have to get some shit to get to play the raid.
Agreed.
That's kind of my experience of it. Why is that not a good system? It's not a good system that the hardest, like, this is supposed to be an RPG, right? I know that people will come in, the Radical players. Oh no, she's not here. I can't talk shit about Radical if she's not in chat. That's not possible. But if you're, I understand that there's now a lot of these players. You like your season passes. You like your, you like your builds, right? You like to press in a menu and get your super and it just kill like Thrall and Forever, and then you like this little number go up, and you don't want to, like, you only want to play strikes, you don't want to go into other things, and then you want to, like, get 1310 because your completionist didn't tell you, No, like, this is supposed to be, like, these games feel good if there is a progression. And Destiny didn't have proper progression in a while. It just has, like, everything is gone. The loot chase is gone, right? We even, like, you know what? I miss even that what I missed the most from a new release in Destiny is this idea that you start at a level 1 character, you start with gray gear. Why did people cherish Outriders? They didn't have that experience in a while to actually, go through missions, grind up your character, arrive at something. That doesn't exist in Destiny anymore. Mm-hmm. So all of this is now gone. And I kind of think that they have to find some way of implementing it, and I really don't understand. So for example, let's say, what does power level mean, right? Power level should enable you access to the highest activities, right? So let's say only normal mode raid would drop powerful stuff at the highest power level that enables you to play hard mode, right? Why should that not be the case? Why do you and there's no casual who can say this shouldn't be the case, except they're jealous of the power level, but they don't need it. Nothing else needs it in a game. You just need it to get into hard mode. And voila, you have a progression. You have a reason to play the normal raid, right? And there's absolutely no reason not to have this system. That's how every game worked on RPGs in existence, and that's why people like RPGs. Like, this game just isn't going the direction anymore. And that's why, like, power level feels so arbitrary. That's why this time gating feels so bad. Because it wouldn't feel bad if you would have to play normal mode anyway, right? If you would have to go something like world tiers or grind up your power level off your armor and your weapons to match, finally, the hard mode raid, you wouldn't care if it's coming out a month later. But now you do, because you're like, wait, I'm going to be just as powerful and next time. There's no reason to grind this. And the weapons will be even better, right? So yeah, there has to be something they have to do to bring progression back into Destiny.
They create their own pockets of people coming in and out of the game, and it's just, why can't you just keep that one long stretch by giving the people what they want? They're so afraid of just giving that content early and let people just beat their heads into it. Let them do what they want. That's just how I've always viewed it. But the conversation that we're having now has just been feeding me more and more into the light of saying, like, I just don't know why they continuously go down the decision making that they do in terms of the seasonal drip. And it's been my biggest gripe with the way they've given us these seasons each and every time. Every 3-month cycle, we're always hoping for that one thing on the calendar to kind of just like give us that I'm going to use a Dragon Ball Z reference, that sensu bean to kind of just wake us back up to that liveliness into this game. Some people are finding it in different ways. Some people find it on Tuesdays. Some people find it in the beginning of the season. Some people find it towards the end of the season. That shouldn't be so mixed about. Like, you're going to have your gamers that personally find their way of being happy in a game, but there should always be that time that everyone is happy and expected. And they do hit that on the beginning of every season, but then, I don't know, this seasonal opener, it really felt different. It didn't feel different that we had our problems day one, but it felt different in terms of our first week or two after. And I know it's not the seasonal power grind, as much shit as that was. I know it's not that, because I'm not logging in to do other things as well on top of that. Now I'm just waiting for the weekend again, each and everything, as soon as Tuesday and maybe Wednesdays are taken care of. I don't know if I'll get on today. I'll probably play a little bit just to kind of wake up the muscle memory for tomorrow for trials, but that's where I find myself at odds ends with these seasonal outputs each and every time, where there are one or two things on the calendar that I'm like, all right, well, I'll just, I guess, bide my time doing this, come back to this game when that comes out. I don't know. I've had a problem with the seasonal drip of what they've done since coming back into this game. I'm like, is this really the way they want to do it? And I walked into it during the whole Bastion problem, so I thought maybe it'd get better each and every time, but it really hasn't. It really hasn't. The roadmap idea, it's kind of crappy, because we get excited for one thing and then that one thing doesn't really live up to it. It's almost like you wish they removed the roadmap.
I mean, yeah, I was surprised people were excited about the roadmap. There's, besides time gates and the Solstice of Heroes, which is another grindy event that sells armor that you can't wear 2 weeks later. Actually, this time it'll be a bit longer, right? Because there's another season coming. Mm-hmm. Oh, right. This is the first time there's a season coming after Solstice. They probably did that so, you know, before they make the armor glows useless again, you can use them for a while.
Before you
anyways,
pay your silver for it again.
I mean, there seems to be something that happens with Vault of Glass, because I think there were some unannounced shit. Like, this is credit where credit is due. It seems like there will be some form of exotic or some quest. In the end, it will just be boring. Like, Mythic Class is not a random drop. It will be, you will have to do some random activities. 'Cause there's Oracle spawning in a Lost Sector. They kind of fucked that up, right? They had to remove that from a Rock Sector. I don't know if you followed that, Wolvie.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So there's going to be something. How excited we'll be, we'll have to wait and see, I think. But yeah. Exactly, and people were excited for the Roadman and Hung Jury, and both suck. Yeah, I mean, right now, like, because even the new moon activity, I thought it would bring some freshness into the activity, but man, it feels worse for some reason. I kind of enjoy Europa more. Please just let me play Europa.
Because it's new.
I agree with you.
Like
I don't know.
With the moon.
And I mean, last season the exotic quest was really nice, right? So we have to give them credit for that. I don't know if we're getting another one this season. Do we know? Is there some exotics unaccounted for? Because they did announce that Hawkmoon is coming back.
We do have another seasonal exotic coming out, because the Trials bounty says seasonal exotics plural, unless that's just a carryover from last season, because we had the two weapons last season that you could utilize in Trials to get that Triumph finish. The last season's exotic quest was one of the best content Bungie ever created, in my opinion. Agreed. And Harbinger,
as a guy who likes to explore, also going back in there, hearing different dialogue, trying to find new shit that gives you a new dialogue. To me, I don't know, I loved it. And you could get, I don't know why people were so upset to get, because exotics should be good, right? That means kind of shit if you don't get a good roll. But I still think I don't know. That's something I have to give them credit for. That was fun.
Man, I can't say negative things. I can't be overly positive. I'm not trying. I'm really just being myself. Like, I have an expectation set for this game. I know there's an expiration date on it, unless they continue to make people happy in all aspects of the game. And you're not gonna. Again, I've said this countless of times. You're not going to make everybody happy, but if you're making a big portion of those people happy in some sort of way, shape, or form, it's this game, and more specifically Destiny, if not Bungie, needs some sort of renaissance. And I don't know what that renaissance is going to look like, but it's reinvigoration through game activities, through experience. And we really thought it was going to be with Beyond Light, and I'm pushing the goalpost back myself now. And if it's not at Witch Queen, man, I don't know when it's going to be, or if it ever will happen. If it's even going to be with this IP, and I'll be frank with you, if I lose faith in this IP, why would I touch Matter? At least, why would I be a day one buyer of that game if I have lost all faith in this game? In this game. Destiny rubbed me in such a wrong way after being walked away from. Why would I even give something like the next IP Matter at the time of day? That's ultimately where I find myself asking these types of questions. I've walked away from this game multiple times. I've come back to it. I've come back to it, though, not because of hype or of a trailer, but of an experience, of something that I wanted to invest my time in, that being Trials. And without it, I know I'd find something else to abide my time. And you've gone through your own rigorous journey with this game, and is there ever a time where you think the goalpost isn't being pushed back? Is Witch Queen finally going to be like, hey man, I think this game has finally reached a moment where I don't think it can ever eclipse my expectations?
No, because thanks XG3, thanks for linking us to TWAB. Wolvie, you got it already?
Yeah, I'm pulling up in chat right now.
Appreciate it. Man, to me, like, I would, if there was anything I would trust anymore. The community managers turned out to be dickheads. The whole management turned out to be dickheads. They have their heads up their ass coming, talking about how they view the state of the game, right? Mm-hmm. Everything is very reactionary. There is no vision anymore. Luke Smith got put in place of franchise director, and there has been one, I think, Joe Blackburn wrote a state of the game. Do you remember that? I don't even remember what it said anymore, but I think we're past that point of nothing in Luke Smith's vision really materialized, in my opinion, in the way we had hoped for. Yeah, I don't see any of that.
I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need the link. Yeah, send me the link if you can, Lightleap.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man. I got it right here. There we go.
Thank you.
So wait, here's the difference I see. I want to read what Zubair said. Wolvie is invested like it's a sports team, good, bad, or ugly. He cares. Like it's like a movie franchise. The movie stinks. He's no reason to go. You know what? I don't know how long have you been following me. I was playing Destiny no matter what. I didn't even play anything else. I now don't play video games. I'm like doing lots of other shit. Actually, it has been super good for my health for doing other activities. I was playing. What's up, Hex? I was playing Destiny all the time. I thought I would never move away from that game. Thought I would never get to that point. I still have to write that. I want to write a small story on my Twitter that I can then always send people to what was the breaking point to me, so people understand. I never thought there would be such a hit. I would say it's such a breaking point that would make me not care. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand, Zubair. So when I played that horrible Trials weekend where I met cheater after cheater and every card got ruined by a cheater just to get that stupid adept hand cannon, I deleted my characters because I realized I'm too invested. And since deleting my characters and accepting that the time of Destiny has passed, I'm too invested in it. I care too much about stuff. It's drawing on my mental health. I get annoyed by it. I ruined a whole weekend being upset, and then not even having in my hands what I wanted to have. That once that was gone, and I think a lot of people have that. They have this attachment. They want to pull out their collections. For me, this is all gone now. I see the pure game as it is, and there's just nothing there anymore. So yeah, I switched to that person because they lost me. Like, they lost truly a dude that was maybe not a whale in the Eververse, but I didn't care. I spent money in it. I bought all the deluxe editions because I love that game, and now the developers, it's not moving. I don't see any direction forward. I'm not. I was sure even when I stepped away. I thought, like, man, I know myself. I'll get Witch Queen. I'll get the next expansion, man.
So let's
and now there's nothing left. Yeah, let's
read a little bit into this. I'm not going to read the jargon in the beginning. I'm just going to skim through these important things. Vault of Glass, prepare to start. On May 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Guardians will venture forth to Venus to take on the Vault of Glass. Contest mode will be active. We have a few rewards for those brave enough to enter. The world first title, as shown back in April, we have a new title belt for players there. Here's a quick recap of the rules of engagement. Vault of Glass will launch with contest mode enabled for 24 hours starting at 10 a.m. Pacific to Saturday, May 22nd. You will need to be at least 1,300 life to be at the cap for all the encounters. That's really cake. Clearing the raid with contest mode active is the first step to access the new challenge mode in the director.
Can I
Go ahead.
When you get to the belt, can I read the next part, please?
Oh, please. Oh, absolutely, please. All right. Completing each encounter in this newly unlocked challenge mode while also finishing a curated list of triumphs will be how a fire team crosses the world's first finish line. To remove the guesswork in the challenge mode, your team will wipe if you fail the conditions of the triumph during the encounter. I guess that's helpful. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
What I wanted to say is, before we move along, there's one more thing. And if you're already excited, what I'll tell you right now, the Hunter exotic Star Eater scales will be disabled for the first 24 hours of the Vault of Glass being live.
Trash.
Bro, dude, the funniest thing is, the only thing that's left in this game, like power level doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Loot matters, right? So there's people being like, dude, there's a super cool exotic in the game. I want to go for it. I want to grind for it. They go in a stupid lost sector, get it. Maybe even went for a good roll for it. And now they're just like, oh, you play to play the content? We're sorry. We're fucking incapable of delivering a basic exotic into the game that doesn't break our most important content this season. Like,
that's really disappointing.
You cannot make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up, man. It's really...
It's extremely disappointing that they would turn that off. I understand they're powerful.
Isn't there like 10 things disabled currently in the game?
There's a few. There's a few things. I got a few rewards. I got a ring, a Vault of Glass ring for those perfect raid guards who complete the Vault of Glass before May 25th at 10 a.m. We'll unlock the Vault of Glass raid rings. You could probably spend $120 on it. I got a jacket for that as well. Completing it by June 1st. Blah blah blah. To about a pin for Vault of Glass. More things to buy. Crossplay. How about a beta? In the early hours of Season of Splicer, a few of you got your first unfiltered taste of crossplay, which they've admitted that was an accident, it being turned on. So they're about to own this and try to take it as a win. Let's just be very clear. Even though this was caused by a bug, we saw players mingling between platforms, which was awesome. That said, we needed to smash the bug like a subscribe button to get our release back on track. While our current goal is for crossplay to ship in Season 15, we have a list of things to do before it's ready, one of which is a beta starting early next week. Interesting. Yes, you read that right. You are firmly invited to the Destiny 2 crossplay
wait a
beta.
Second. Did you skip the most important part of the TWAB?
Which part?
Clearly,
the virtue signaling?
No, clearly they want to... No, that's just the icing that there's always there. clearly they want to draw attention to their other store. So I mean,
of course,
transmog, like, come on, man, like, they gotta make money somehow. So I think we gotta give them the time of day. If transmog and seasonal activities and deluxe editions and baby fallen plushes aren't enough, dude, they want to sell you more shit, and that's what they're using their TWAB for. I don't know, this Bungie rewards program doesn't seem like so scummy to you even now.
Absolutely, it's business. It's business. Business will be business. And I'm not saying it's right. I don't think it's probably great ethics. But hey, the people that are driving the ship, they want to make money. They got investors. They got to keep happy, and that's just decision making. What's up?
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
Where was?
Oh, and there's you can still spend money on.
From May 25th through May 27th, a unique Vanguard strike called Crossplay Beta Playlist will be available to all Destiny players in Destiny 2. You'll be match-made with Guardians playing on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and Stadia. As you fight through the enemy waves of darkness, our teams will be scouring data and performing a multitude of actions to test the integrity of our upcoming cross-play system. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't expecting to hear that today. I think that's really cool. It would be nice to jump in and test something like that. It gives people hope that are a part of this channel that like doing the community stuff, the play-alongs that are on PlayStation or that are on PC, days on Xbox. Now we could just jump in at any time together. I think that's really cool. Not tooting any horn here. I'm excited for crossplay. I think everyone should be somewhat excited for crossplay in hopes that it doesn't go on without a million problems, but I mean, there's almost bound to be some sort of problems. Are you excited at crossplay in any shape or form?
I mean, I would have been, I think, to play with like friends trials that would have preferred on staying on the console, but since nobody wants to play cheaters on PC, like, we're fucked, right?
Yeah.
and like, I mean, strikes, great. I don't know, like, there's no friend of mine who doesn't like also own a PC, and I don't think the ones who do, they don't care as much to go on a console. Just want to clarify something, Gilly. I don't mind that per se, that you need to achieve something to get merch from the store, which kind of links it to your in-game achievement. It's that this is such a major part of the TWAB. They show pictures. This Bungie rewards thing has become like a thing they announce and prop up as if you realize they're making it part of this world of Destiny, but the game doesn't. I don't think it has. As somebody said, they don't have the goodwill right now. The game lacks shit. So yeah, it's another business decision. It's another problem, and I think it's another thing that they put on their radar, and it helps us in our argument when we say shit like we're listening, or stuff into Eververse, or come buy our merchandise outside, or our plushie, and another one, the Prime Gaming stuff. It's just more things where people have to pay that's
money.
What I mean.
Yeah,
like, we just had this outrage over transmog, and they didn't even take this shit out of the TWAB.
Yeah.
They just informed us, sorry, we won't be informing you about that. Oh, by the way, we're still selling other shit.
I think it's a matter of time before these TWABs just have ads on them. I think they're just going to have ads on them very soon.
Man, I'm not a fucking commie. I know I live in Switzerland, but I understand. I was never like a super left-wing person when it comes to these things. I think it's good that they earn money. It's good that they find new ways, opportunities of earn business. But I just feel like an asshole now. Like, I really feel like this whole game is becoming a mobile game monetization level, and then it's just like somebody stabbing me in the eye every time I see something else being sold. And bro, you cannot tell me these fucking raid jackets are worth their money. I don't know, what do they go for, like 200?
It's probably like at least $150, I would assume. Yeah, they didn't mention
Yeah.
transmog. They're not gonna mention transmog. They're gonna ignore it, sweep it under the rug. That nerf stasis hashtag, that shit ain't going anywhere. They probably wiped their ass with that. It was good for a day, and the whole weekend went by. And are people still writing it? I mean, they probably are. They're probably out there with their pickets going, hey, hey, ho, ho, nerf stasis, or or whatever the fuck else they're saying with it. But it's irrelevant. What I'm getting at, it's irrelevant to these guys that are up top. They got a path, they got an agenda, they got their routines that they're gonna do. And I was just saying, these TWABs are basically become just advertisers. They're gonna be NASCAR soon. Just, you're gonna be scrolling thing, and then like one article's, it's actually gonna be an ad for something, some microphone, some headset, whatever the case may be.
I mean, weren't the Bungie rewards even? Aren't they now also like, I open my fucking paid game and what I see is, oh, by the way, if you haven't already, this is the last week to get your seal on the Bungie store. Escape. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, we got a new raid jacket coming. Maybe you want to buy it. Dude, I fucking paid this game. I want to play it. I don't care about this fucking advertising. And in the fucking TWAB, I want to be informed about issues in the game and not more fucking advertising. Do you realize I only go in this shit to read about what the state of the game is in and not what fucking else I can buy on their
what's
page?
Gonna be fixed,
this is
what's
what I'm
being
talking
addressed,
about.
what's good in the future. These are the things that we want. I don't want to be always reminded that I
out
can
of here
spend,
with,
I
like,
don't always be reminded to
and,
spend
like,
more money.
And somebody in chat said, disable my extra revenue. Don't disable it, my man. Fuck, man. People are running game companies without having merchandise stores. They can have a merchandise store. They can even mention it in the end of the article. By the way, we have new merch on the store that you can earn in game. Cool. Don't make it a major part of your information piece about the game when the game is in a shit state. Don't make it pop up on my screen when I start the game. Man, fuck you, and fuck anybody who thinks this is a good idea. Like, seriously, this is pissing me off. I don't want to have this shit advertising about stuff that I paid for. It's like if I would open YouTube, pay $15 for it a month, and I still would get ads.
Yeah.
Do you realize that pisses me off?
It's a NASCAR now. That's what the TWAB is. It's just a NASCAR with a bunch of ads driving by each and every week to let us know that we could buy something else within their store, or we can be a part of something. And it's always great, to donate for certain things, but there's always something going on where there's some sort of something where we give them a little bit of money. There's a few last bug things, interesting bugs that I think that were kind of upsetting to start the season with. One in particular, the pinnacle.
Fuck, Ashen, I swear to God, I would fucking slap you right now, but I know you're sarcastic, so it's okay.
the pinnacle from the servitor, it was dropping a powerful. I'm glad that's being fixed 2 weeks later. Energy accelerants finally being reinstituted back into the game. Fixed an issue where the exotic catalyst sidearm for Cryo Caesar was incorrectly accruing progress. That's shitty, because that was actually really easy to do. If you have an energy weapon, try to take care of that before Tuesday, where you're going to get credit for your cryosthesia catalyst with using another weapon. This one was upsetting because I wanted to do the Presage a few times and finally finish the catalyst for my DMT. That reward will finally be a pinnacle again. Well, Volta Glass World First. Fire teams who wish to compete in World's First race would be able to do so when raid launches May 22nd at 10 a.m. The fire team of 6 to complete Volta Glass raid, then complete the Volta Glass challenge mode and claim the Tempo's Edge Triumph will be declared World's First from Bungie on Twitter after verification from our analytics team. Well, they got a team for this. If a fire team cycled through different members during their attempt, the final 6 remaining upon the completion of the final encounter of the challenge mode activity, or at least one member of the fire team claims the Tempo's Edge Triumph, will be declared the winner and be awarded. So you could basically get to something, sub someone out if they're doing something crap. That's shitty, and then still be awarded that first team to be a part of it, as long as one person gets the triumph completed. That's kind of lousy. I think they're doing that to minimize the amount of time it's going to take to finish that. But I was having a conversation with people last night. What do you guys think? And let me know in chat as well. And Lightleap, let me know what you think. this basic mode of getting the run through first and then going back through it to do the triumphs. I'm assuming, this is a big assumption, I'm assuming that the triumphs are going to be what is going to take the most time to complete. I feel like the first run is going to take some time, but what do you think? What do you think? How quick do you think some people are going to get through that first initial run?
I don't know, dude. As I said, I have no idea. Contest mode will kind of make it tough. Did they really not change the encounters at all and only put in some champions?
They said they're tweaking it, but they want the core of it to remain the same.
Basically, the spawn locations.
I'm sure the actions are going to stay the same. The way we dispose of oracles, using of the relic. I'm sure those kind of mechanics are still going to stay the same. But I
have no idea,
hours.
man. I don't know how long they. I think it's going to be probably like 2-3 hours, and then challenges probably another 2-3 hours, maybe 4, 5, 6. I think DSC took like 5, right? 6. 5.
I think from beginning to end, with challenge mode, I think it'll take a team 8 hours.
Okay.
I think that's what I think, somewhere around the 8.
It's gonna be shorter, I think. That.
Hey, it very well could be, because we've done this before. But I want to say, with challenge mode and the fact that these things are gonna wipe you if you mess something up, completing these triumphs, I think that will add on a little bit extra padding of time where people will be like, all right, we need to figure this out. We're messing up this one little thing. Like, why are we messing up this one thing? We're just getting wiped over and over again. Hell, it could be a lot shorter, but I'm going to put my money on 8 hours. I think 8 hours will be the magic mark for a team to finish the first run through and then get their triumphs over with.
Maybe, yeah. It's hard. I'm bad at this. I'm not dodging the question. I just really have no idea. I have
no, for sure. That's my over under. I think it's 8 hours is right about right. I'm in Vegas.
I think though,
all the time.
I would agree with that it's shorter. I think we can bet. What are we betting about?
Oh, I think it'll be about 8
next
hours.
Week,
So,
the loser has to wear a funny outfit next week on the show.
Yeah, I think that's something.
I'm saying it's going to be around 5. You're saying 8, and then we'll see. And then we'll see who.
If someone gets this, if a team gets this done in under 6 hours, that's pretty crazy.
I'm wearing my America one piece. If you're right, what is your bet?
I'll find. I'm sure it's easy to get some sort of Swiss shirt.
Swiss, man? No, German,
I know you're German, but you're living in Switzerland.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Sounds good.
We'll make that part of it. There's pretty much nothing else left in the TWAB. He has his own little way of being quaint. The community manager, nothing much to read. If you want to check this out, a few art pieces.
Ask you guys, do you know what I always found weird about Americans? And I love you guys, right?
Yeah, totally.
Now I just said it too. Shit, because this is what I wanted to ask.
We're weird. Yeah.
Why? There's no other language, and I don't think even British people use the word love as much as you do. You know what? Like, as a European, it fucking grinds my gears when I see him always end his tweets with much love. Man, fuck you. I don't love you. You don't love me. You don't even know who I am. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, why do you not end with cheers, like the stupid TWAB or something? I don't know.
Well, I don't know why. I guess you're saying it because this cat ends in cheers. I don't know. I don't think it's something I would say personally. If I were to end it, I would probably say something in relation to the game. I don't know many men who are probably heterosexual that are either talking to not their significant other or a mother or a relative that are ending in much love. Unless they're addressing, a collective amount of people, I don't think most men are ending in much love. Maybe girls.
I thought about this recently because, like, when you just see your friends or random people, right, you'll be like, well, I love you, right? And it's normal, right? Because, like, even Lono says, like, well, I love you guys, like, yeah, we love you, blah, blah, it's normal. So you accept that. But then if you start dating someone, you're like even careful with the word like, right? Because you're saying like, oh yeah, I like you. Wait, what do you mean?
Because
you like me? You like me? Right?
This is so different from a TWAB and raid, but
I know it's like an easier thing to say than like. It's just it's something that
but it's so tender.
It's
so tender in the beginning of a relationship because you don't know what to say. You don't want to look over the top. You want to scare the person away. What a drift that we went to right here on the Coliseum, that we started talking about Destiny, the raid, and now we're talking about our love life.
Exactly.
Beta males drop much love.
Our relationship with the community managers.
Yeah. They're linguistic in their way of speaking. So. Again, we're going to be here live for the raid Saturday. That's going to be our Destiny attempt that on this. I won't be streaming anything Trials related on Saturday. It will be all raid related. I will be going live tomorrow to talk, to play Trials, get my fix in. I'm hoping it's going to be the sniper. A lot of people are saying that it's going to be the sniper. I want to give you guys a little heads up as well. Big news just dropped for Overwatch and Overwatch 2, and I'm going to be incorporating Overwatch gameplay into this channel in a build-up for Overwatch 2. I'm a big Overwatch fan. I played a lot of it before Trials came back out last year. It was basically my PvP fix. So if you're a fan of Overwatch and you'd like to be a part of it with this channel, please feel free to jump in to the chat, to the live stream when we start Overwatch as well. Lightleap, where can people find you? Give us your final
on Twitter
thoughts
as usual.
And everything.
I wanted man, I really thought about like giving you guys a place to hang with me. Streaming Destiny. Unfortunately, the only thing you would see me is 5 minutes playing and then me watching turn my monitor off, and then it would be just a black screen. So yeah, just if you have suggestions, or if you're pissed off at me because I said fuck you to general people, or if you're pissed off at anything, you can always hate tweet me. I love getting hate tweets. Shotgun Chimp is my ad. Otherwise, I'm always here with Wildy on Thursdays for the foreseeable future. And of course in the SNTR Discord.
Absolutely, and I'm more than welcome to have him and other people as well. If people want to be a part of this show, I've always loved the round table feel to it. We started the show with 4, and we would love to fulfill more seats if people would like to be a part of it. It's something that has been very strong for this channel, and it brings different people's insight that are different than mine, that are different than yours, watching as a viewer, and I think that engages conversation, healthy conversation as well. So always let me know if you know someone, or even if yourself are interested in being a part of this and talking with us as we break down the TWAB and review the previous week in Destiny in terms of what we have going on in our lives in this game. So thank you all so very much for being a part of the arena today. Lightleap, let everyone know that you'll miss them, that you're always here for them.
I always will be. If you ever want to rage about Destiny, I'm always here, and yeah, I'll definitely be jumping in. I'll definitely be back with Wolvie next week to review vlog. I have friends, unfortunately, who I still care for, and they wanted me as a 6th, so and I said yes. And as much as I regret it now, I still look forward to having some beers with them. So there'll be definitely that to take apart, talk about. I need another reset. Let's see what that happens. And yeah, thanks very much for hanging. This was really fun.
As always, dude. As always, this has been a great experience and a great experiment on the channel, and I give you all the credit in the world for coming up with this idea and bringing. Man,
I like Robert now, man. I like you, Robert. I like you.
So again, we're gonna be back tomorrow, play a little Trials. Saturday, it's raid day, and we're gonna be trying our very hardest to at least complete it. We're not going to break our backs and our necks and our eyes and all of our limbs to be day one winners, but hey, that would be pretty cool.
So man, we created a new meme for our channel. Now when we go offline, everybody spam
That's
much
what we're
love,
gonna say, much love.
love.
Everyone's got to just say much love at the end of this one. So let me know what you guys think in the comments as well of this episode. What you guys think of this last week in Destiny? Anything that we talked about on this episode that maybe piqued your interest and or even got you talking maybe about something about the raid as well. Along with Overwatch, we have plenty of other games I have circled in the future to be a part of. If you are interested in this type of content where said we have our focus on Destiny, Trials is where I kind of dig my toes into. Other PvP games that we have circled on in the future as well, like I just mentioned, Overwatch. We're going to be jumping into that very soon. It's probably I have someday circled next week to jump into Overwatch. So keep an eye out for that. And if you guys like what you see, please feel free to subscribe. Hit the like button on your way out. Also, and if you're feeling extra generous and you also want to be a part of the PvP games that we have coming in the future, or even be a part of Destiny, because crossplay is right around the corner, hit the join button because you get different perks and you get to jump the line and be a part of the play-alongs and soon to be crossplay play-alongs, part of Destiny. So again, thanks a lot. Lightleap, thanks again for being a part of this, buddy.
Always, my friend.
Everyone, take it easy, and as always,
good night.
Stay flawless.